on Amazon. So what is that I'm doing? I'm requesting for my order history here. I want to know my history, what all I have ordered. Okay. So they are saying, let's check this link for order history. So, okay, I'm clicking. What it is doing?
It is asking you to log in.
It is asking me to log in. Okay.
Okay.
So it's telling me there is no, you have not logged in, so you cannot navigate to this link. So till yesterday's session in routing, we have seen navigation, how to navigate. But before navigation, have I anywhere checked whether I have logged in, authenticated or not? Have I checked those things?
No, ma'am.
Others, please make it interactive. Only then you will not sleep after lunch.
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So we want an authentication now. So how we are going to implement authentication, or how we are going to check before rendering a component, is going to be the complete session of the day. So don't you see this? Sign into your account. Yes, we are also seeing this page. Okay. Deleting Git repositories. So can you delete Git repository that you have created on MyRepos?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you delete Angular
ma'am.
repository on GitHub? Can we do that?
No.
I'm not tried.
No, ma'am.
No. ma'am.
Inside Git, we cannot delete. We need certain authentication to delete the repositories of GitHub or Git. Okay. Exiting Web IDE on Git without saving changes. So you're making some change. You're making some work on your IntelliJ, or making some work on your Workbench. When you come out before saving the changes, what will happen? It will give you this message, right? Changes you have made has not been saved. Do you want to go back or cancel? Leave or cancel? You will get this kind of information, right? When you're working with the Workbench also, without saving your file. Normally, imagine when you fill up any form. You're filling up any form. It's a long form. Maybe some 20-25 fields are there. You're filling up all the informations. By mistake, you have clicked this browser back button, or you have clicked on some other components. It will ask you this message. Have you ever noticed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So these are simple checks which I want to do before rendering any page. So when I go back, I want to go to previous view. When I press on this browser back button, I want to go to previous view. Previous page has to be, previous component has to be rendered to me. Before rendering the previous component, I want to make some checks. Those checks can be done using router guards. Guarding your routers. Your routers are going to be guarded, checked, verified. We can say it like this. So should Amazon allow user to navigate order history without logging in? Yes or no?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Should authenticated but unauthorized user can provide access to even any unauthorized, even though you are logged in, you are not the administrator. If you are not the administrator, should I give you a permission to delete?
No, ma'am.
Should user be allowed to leave the web IDE without saving their changes? Here also no. So how I'm going to make this kind of checks in my navigation? When I navigate, how I will do all these checks? Let's understand. Navigational routes should be guarded to prevent unintended access to the different views of SPA. So when you want to go to a different view in a single page application, any unwanted access, unintended access has to be prevented with the help of unwanted access has to be prevented with the help of God. Okay. So guard routes in SPA. How I am going to guard my routing? What are all the concepts available to guard this, to guard my routes? How I can implement? What are all the predefined interfaces available? Based on that, what are all the methods I can implement and I can do? We will see it in further slides. Control access to application paths. Some parts of the page cannot be accessed. Configure routes to add route guard. So you in your route itself, when you configure your route, where do we configure? Map our route. Configure means mapping. Where do we map our route?
In routing.
In routing. So how are we going to map our guard also in routing? We will see that. Add guard to control route nav activation, child route activation, and control route deactivation. All these things. What is all these things? You will understand by the end of the session, because all these things we are going to cover in further slides. How are parts of single page application accessed? By routing. Routing is in a single page application allows a user to navigate and access different parts of the application. Routing happens when a user is clicking on something. A user clicks the navigation link to visit different view in SPA. For example, the user clicks on the login links and gets redirected to login view. Login view is login components HTML page. The application performs an action. Even in on button click also we can do. The user is navigated to another view as a response. For example, post name is so and so validated. And after those things, the user can be navigated to user profile view. Homepage maybe. All right. So by either clicking on a link or by either clicking on a button, as of now, we learned how to navigate. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So should all the parts of the single page application be made always accessible? Do you think like that? In Amazon, you have a link called admin. Every user is having a access to that page called admin?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Only some specified user should have the access, right? Okay. Why should the access to parts of a single page application should be controlled? To protect parts of application from an unauthorized, so unauthorized or unauthenticated access should be stopped. To ensure data is available before a part of the application is accessed. Some data should be available before, maybe your login information. Your login information or your user ID or your mail ID should be available before you do some process. Maybe if you are going to raise a complaint, before you raise a complaint, I need your mail ID or I need your user ID so that I can store, I can log and keep your complaints of my web page. So I need to ensure that there is some data required before you do some action. To allow the user to save or save the unsaved changes. Before you when you fill up the form, by mistake you have clicked the back button or by mistake you have clicked some other button here, it should ask you that you are leaving this page. Do you want to proceed because your page is not yet saved? That information has to be given. to request confirmation from the user before leaving the component. So before leaving that page, you have to ask the user, do you want to really leave? You didn't save this page. That information, that message I need to give. So in some places, in some activities, I want to control the navigation. Before doing any navigation, I need a check. How do we make this? So how can we control? How I am going to do this, implement this in my application? Controlling access using route guards. Angular allow controlling access to different parts of application through guards. Guards are added to the root configuration in the router module. In the router module, it is added to the root configuration that is in your app routing page. So the return value from guards will help us. So guard will check a condition and return you true or false. Guard is generally going to check some condition and it will return you true or false. If it is returning you true, I will go to next page. If it is returning me stop, maybe I'm quickly drawing here. Imagine I am in my home page or in a welcome page. From welcome page, I can able to see about us page. About us page. I could able to see contact us page. I could able to see course page. I could able to see course page. Now in course page, there are two more links available. In this course page, there is some details page, details or placement page. And here I have fees page. I have a fee structure page. Now from this course, everybody can see what all the course available. Everybody can see. I don't want to check. But from this course, when I want to go to this details page or go to this fees page, I need to be logged in. Only then I can see the fee structure. So I need a login here. So before traveling from this point to this point, before traveling from course to fee, before doing this navigation, I need to check whether I have logged in. If the login check is returning me true, the navigation process continues. It will go from course to fees page. Suppose if it returns false, the navigation process will stop. I will not allow you to go here. You cannot go. Don't go. And the user stays in the current view. You will stay in this course page itself. Or else URL tree, the current navigation is, or else it will return you, instead of returning false, it can also return you something called URL tree. What is URL tree? Instead of taking you from course page to fees page, it will give you some other structure. Whereas I will be traversed to login page, or I will be traversed to sign up page. So from this navigation will be stopped and I will be sent to some other place. Some other tree is, some other login, sign up, home page, some other tree is given to me. Some other structure I will follow. So the current navigation is cancelled and a new navigation process is initiated from the returned URL tree. This URL tree will help me to take my control to a different page, which will further help me to do this process. So from here, I will make you to travel to sign up page. Am I clear? Am I audible or
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm returning true, I can successfully travel to the destination. If it is returning false, I will stop in the place where I have started. In the source itself, I will stop. URL tree means if it is returning me URL tree, I will be redirected to a helpful page. From course, I couldn't go to fees page because I didn't log in. So to log in, I need login page. So this URL tree will help me to take to login page. This we will see in our demo. This part we can cover it in our demo. Any queries? Should I repeat something here? Should I repeat something here?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So does the route guard return value synchronously or asynchronously? Here also synchronize and asynchronous will come to picture. Synchronize means based on the output only I can do the next process. Then it will be synchronized. Maybe I want to connect to server. I want to get the username. I want to get the password. I want to do validation. So connecting to server, getting username, password from the database will take time. So I will not make those things synchronized. So the return from guards can be synchronous as well as asynchronous also. If the value to return is available, the return is synchronous. If the value to the return is ready-made available here, then I will return synchronous. However, at times the guard must wait for the response from the user. It is asking the user, you enter the username, you enter the password, I will check from the database. So those things will take time. Or wait for a fresh set of data to be received from the server. Either it is waiting for the user to give the value, or it is waiting to connect to the server and get the value. Anything may be. In some situation, if it feels that it has to wait, then it will be asynchronous. If it is asynchronous, either you will go for observable or promise. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to implementation. Implementing route guards in an Angular application. How do we implement? Guards in Angular are injectable classes that implements guard interface. So they are service classes which is going to be implemented, and you can override the methods available. So the router supports multiple guard interfaces. Can activate child, can deactivate, can load. So can activate. Okay, first we will see from can activate. I will not move further. I'll stop here. Route activation. Okay. Drive. In D drive, I am creating one folder. Inside D, inside Angular 2, inside demonstrations, I am creating routing guard. I'm saying please listen from the beginning, guys, because it's going to be, everything is going to be inside the same demo. I'm not going to do different, or I'm not going to do show something which is available. Let me also show, maybe the final one, I'll show you how it is done in the demo also, in demonstration which is given also, but still I will try to do everything by myself. So whatever I'm typing, please listen carefully. So I'm inside routing guard demo. Routing guard demo 1 folder. Inside this folder, bar is actually, I'm creating a terminal. I'm already inside that folder. So ng generate sorry, ng new guarding demo. It is generating. So do I need routing? Now we know what is the purpose of routing. So I'm giving yes. With style sheet format, okay, I will go for CSS. So by the time it is doing, I will show you something here. Okay. So imagine I have a page. In my page, I have a button called About Us, a button or a link for Contact Us, a link for complaints. Now, I want to check when you click on this link for complaints, whether you have logged in or not. If you have logged in, I have to take it to the complaints page. I have to take you, render the complaints page here. If you have not logged in, I have to tell you, sorry, you have not logged in. I have to tell you an information. Sorry, you have not logged in. So this is my home page. In my home page, I have a link, and that link has to be checked before it is rendered. How I'm going to do this? This is what we are going to see in our first demo. Oh, sorry. Done. Routing demo has been created. So see here. All right. Let me quickly generate some components. ng generate component home.
But first you have to get inside the folder, I guess.
Yes, dear. Right. Guarding demo. ng generate component home component. So by the time it is entering into the component, I will remove everything from here. And if needed, router outlet or directly home, no issues. So in home page, if needed, you go copy the navbar. Maybe inside one H3. I will have a link for what all we can have in the beginning. About us. I'm not focusing much on design. I'm just doing on the basic. Contact us and maybe whatever I have given you yesterday, our available courses. All right. So after this, let me break out to the next line and say an anchor tag for news and or achievements. News or achievements. Just wrong here. And achievements I will make. As of now, not courses, complaints. Complaints and okay. Okay. So this much I have done. Let me serve this in G serve hyphen. So when we click on about us, contact us and courses, it has to take me to some pages. By the time it is serving, I'm opening one more terminal. In that I'm generating a component about us. It's generated. I'm generating one more component, ng generate component contact us. By the time it is generating inside about us, training on Angular is the information about us. Inside contact us, I'll give some number. And what else? What else we had? Courses. ng generate component courses. I'm generating all the components simply. H2 contact us on toll free 18002 34567. So some information I'm giving. And inside the courses, list of courses available. I'll put it inside H2. I'm just giving some information, nothing more. MySQL I can use list here, but fine. Okay. HTML. Angular. Some information I'm showing you. Okay, so these are the things which is going to be shown when I click on course. Okay, so let me map this about us, contact us, and courses first. Are you all listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
give
Yes.
for
ma'am.
it just to have it differently. I'm giving 1, 2, 3. 1 is about us, 2 is contact, and 3 is courses. Let me add the path. One is about us. Two is contact us component, and three is courses component. Let's see whether it is served or not. Okay, it is still waiting for our permission here. Yes. All right, let it be. By the time news and achievement complaints also I'll create. ng generate component news. Let me add one router outlet here. So as of now, when I check for about us, contact us, and courses is working. Okay.
Your screen is not visible.
Hmm?
Have you changed your screen?
Okay, it is not visible. Sorry, I may not share entire screen. Browser, I'm asking.
Browser was not visible.
No, ma'am, it's not visible.
Okay. I'll share it once again. I'm just adding a space, NBSP for space.
Adding to NBSP means from space.
Space, yes.
Okay.
See, there is some space now. When I click on about us, contact us, courses is working. Fine. No issues on that. News achievements and complaints. I have to create the components. Let's create it. News component is created. ng generate component complaints. Generating news. Here. Please visit www.niit.com for more information. Some message, just simply some message I'm giving. There is nothing meaningful here. So when you come to news, I will tell you this. And I have to map it. Before mapping, sorry. I will create a router link 4. And the router link here, I'll give it as 5. App routing, as we are all comfortable of typing this, I'm simply copying to pasting. For 4, you will go to news component. And for 5, you will go to complaints component. In complaints component, in H2, I'm saying write your complaints to abc at gmail or abc at nit.com. I'm saying write your complaints here. Let me check it. Okay, about us is working. Contact. When I refresh, homepage, about us, contact us, courses. Okay, I'll do one thing. I will bring this courses here only. I'll bring this courses here only. Courses. Control X. So, Shift and enter. I will keep one link for home also here. Okay, then I have to change all my order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 is for home, app routing. 1 is for home component, 2 is for about us component, 3 is for contact us component, 4 is for news, 5 is for compliance, and 6 is for courses, right? Path. 6 is for courses component. Let's quickly cross check once. Now I'll go back to home page. Okay, it is 2 times.
Home path should be empty, no?
I will make a router outlet itself here. And in app routing, for empty, will place for empty also. If the path is empty, then
Home component.
redirect to home is 1, right? Path match should be full or the prefix. I'm saying full because I've given completely ONE1. 5. Initially home component. When I click on home component, it's a home. About us. Nothing is working. Empty is taking to home. Okay. Okay, inside one, it is searching for 2. Inside one. Mhm. Then I have to make these pages. It is still inside. Inside home, it is searching for those links. As my initial, I want to render it as a child page, right? Inside home, I want those things. So I want to render it as my child pages. So it is searching for mapping inside my one. So my URL, you can see the error clearly here that my URL is coming like this 1/3. So inside one, there is no 3. It is outside one. So I have to make these things as my child. Not this. Only till this much. Control X. Go up. Inside this. No comma. So it's not coming. Now children. Colon. Children can be more. So array. Now paste these. Control S. Home is let me check for others. About us is working. Contact us is working. Achievements, compliance, courses is working. Only home page is giving me a problem.
Ma'am, in home HTML,
Hmm.
home component HTML, we need to pass an empty, ma'am, for the path, not 1. I think it will work.
Or else by placing this instead of here, I place it here. So About us, contact us, news, compliance, courses, home. I
So
have
after
placed it
clicking
in
on
my
home,
app component. Huh?
after clicking on home, what should be the result?
Sorry, Ayush, your voice is disturbing.
Ma'am, after clicking on home, what should be the
Hmm.
result?
After clicking on home, I don't want any content here. I have to be in a page which will have only this link.
Go in.
Instead of using browser back, I'm using this home.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
That's it. All right, fine. Now about us is working. Okay. Contact us is working. Okay. News and achievements, anybody can see. Okay. So here's some arrow I have given extra. Fine. Courses, yes. Okay. Now I want to make a check on my complaints. I want to make a check on my complaints. When you click on this complaint, I have to check whether you have logged in or not logged in. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to generate a guard to check this. How will I create a guard or generate a guard? By the command ng generate guard. Guard name is complaints guard. Complaints guard. ng generate guard name. It will ask you the question, do you need, which interface do you need to interface? Do you need can activate, child, deactivate or load? As of now, I am saying can activate. Press space to select anchor I to invert selection, enter to proceed. Okay, I think if you give space, it will come to next. Where your asterisk is coming based on that. So I'm giving on my can activate. So see, it is generated can activate. It is generated. Where it is generated? Oh, it is generated in my app itself. I don't want it in some clumsy places. It is there inside app itself. Inside app, I will create a folder. It is always advisable, do modularity. No issues if we drag and drop. I'm simply dragging and dropping these two inside this guards. Done. Now this is my spec file. And inside my guards, can you see any guard is injectable? We saw this in the slide. Any guard is injectable. It's a class. It will become a service class. It is injectable and it implements can activate interface. Can activate is from at Angular router. It overrides a method. By default, it overrides a method called router. Activated route snapshot and state. Router states snapshot are the two arguments it is by default overriding. So there are two arguments for can activate method. Activated router snapshot will give you what is my requested URL. I am requesting for something. What you have requested? Requested URL is this. Requested URL is this. And what is this state of the requested URL? Is that component is activated or deactivated? Is that component is ready? Or what is the state of that component will be stored in this? Can activate will take these two arguments. One is the destination route and the other one is state of the destination. Am I clear?
Ma'am, can you explain once again? Activated.
Guys, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Little like
So it will, by default, this is a in our implementing, it will have this method. If you override this method, by default, these arguments will come. And what will be the return type of this can activate? It will return you either an observable, which can prompt you Boolean or URL tree. URL tree, as I already said you, either it will return you true, false, or else URL tree, separate page, URL of separate page. It will either return a observable or it will return a promise Boolean or URL tree. Or this operator is or here. This pipe operator is or here. Observable of Boolean or URL tree, or else promise of Boolean or URL tree. If it is asynchronous, any one among this will be your returned value. If it is synchronous, either a Boolean or URL tree will be your return type. Anything out of these, anything can be your return value. Now it is simply returning true here. Let it be simply returning true. Now, how will I implement this guard inside my component? Even though I have generated a guard, is it, see, let's go for news and then come back to complaints, or let's go for home page, come back to complaints. Is it making any check? Hey, you have not logged in. How can you give a complaint? Please log in and come and give a complaint. Is it telling you any message like that? Is it blocking you? Is it blocking you guys without reaching that page?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
There is no blocking, right?
Yeah.
Please
You are not
respond.
audible.
Is
Ma'am, you are
there
not
any
audible,
block?
ma'am.
No blocking.
No, ma'am.
I'm not audible. Okay.
For me,
So it is not blocking anywhere. So what we have to do? Okay. What we have to do? We have to actually, what is the problem here? We have not connected our guard. Our guard is being generated. We have not connected our guard and connected our complaints page. Where do we do the configuration? We saw on slide. Where do we do the configuration of connecting guard to a component?
Routing module. Routing.
In routing. So where I will do, how do I do is, wherever you are calling your complaints, just give a comma here and say is sorry, can activate. Sorry, not is activate, can activate. Can activate. I can include too many guards to one component. So it is an array. Inside that, what is my guard name? Guards are inside this folder. Complaint guard. Complaint guard. That is the class name, because I have given one guard and there is one more guard. So that is the name. Now we have attached our guard to my component. So this attachment, this linking, mapping is done. Now, even though we have done mapping, guard is returning true. Let me go back to the browser, refresh, go to home, refresh, go to complaints. It is still working because guard is returning me true. Let me make it as false. Make it as false. Go to home. Go to courses. Yes, working. Go to complaints. See, it is stopping there. Is it navigating me to the complaints page?
No, ma'am.
No.
It is stopping me there. Can you notice that it is stopping me there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay. Now, this is the static value which I'm giving here. This is the static value which I'm giving here. True or false is the static value. I don't want this static value. I want someone will help for me to keep track whether I have logged in or not. So who's going to keep a track, or who's going to do this work for me, doing some service for me?
Guard.
So I need a service class to do this service for me. Let me generate that service class. Ng generate. Before generating, let me create one folder. Let's make everything properly in one place. No, folder should not be inside guards. Folder should be inside app. Select app, folder, services. All the services will be present inside this. Ng generate service. Inside services folder, service name is login serve. It is going to generate a service for us. So this service, you can see here inside serve, login serve service is created. In this service, guys, please listen carefully. In this service, let me create logged in, a Boolean type variable, and by default I'll store false. I will make a method called login, which is going to do this dot logged in equal to true, and a logout method which is going to do this dot logged in equal to false. So what I'm doing, one variable is declared with by default false, and when someone is calling this login button, this should be changed to true. When someone is calling the logout button, this should be changed to false. For this, what I need a login and logout button. Maybe I can have it here itself. You can have it here, or you can have it in your home component also. Let me create a button for this. Button, login, or sign in. No key, no relation between those words. So I'm giving different words. It is on click, it's going to call a method called method1. I'm making this clumsy names because you have to understand that any names can come there. But when you make or when you create a project, please make sure that you are giving proper meaningful names. Let it be very bigger, no problem, but give a meaningful name. Okay. There is no connection between that login method and this method or this keyword. So I'm making it as different. Sign in, sign out. I'm calling method 1, method 2. So when you click on sign in, I should call method 1. When you click on sign out, I should call method 2. I'm quickly going into my TS file. Method. I don't think so. I have to explain all these things to you. Should I?
No.
Method 2 I'm creating. So when you click on sign in button, method 1 is called. So what sign in button should do? Sign in button should call my service and change it as true. So in my service, this method should be called. This login method should be called to make this as true. So first, what should I do? How will I make use of any service? By injecting it, right? By injecting it, we can make use of any service There is no constructor here. So let me create a constructor. Let me inject it as a property, private log serve is my property name for my login serve service. Now, using that object, using that property, I'm calling my login method, which will in turn change that variable to true, correct? When I call this, it will in turn change my variable to true. Same way, when you click on that sign out button, I have to call this method. This dot log serve dot log out method I'm calling. So still now what is happening? When we click on the sign in button and sign out button, something is happening. Okay, let me make a print statement inside this services. Then it will be a little more clear for us. I'm logging this dot logged in variable. Control C. And after making it as false, one time. So see here, see my console. When I click on sign in, it's returning me true. When I click on sign out, false. Sign in true, sign out false. Okay. So this is for developer purpose. Maybe if you feel like you want to show this to your end user also, you can make an alert. And one more alert here. Saying logged out. So when I click on sign in, it is saying signed in. When I click on sign out, it is saying logged out. It's returning me true, false also. Fine. So still now my service is also working. So when I click on login and log out, my service is keeping track whether I have logged in or logged out. Now my guard is going to make use of my service. My guard is not going to return any static value. It is going to check whether I have logged in or logged out with the help of my service. So what should I do here? I have to create a constructor here also to inject my service. Any name, no need to be same name as previous. Login serve service. I'm checking if directly you can call the variable name also. If p dot logged in variable also you can directly call. If not, let me create one more method here to return that getter method. Get is logged in. Get is logged in or get authenticated. Any method name you can give. Get is logged in. Method is going to return me this dot variable name. That's it. It is going to return me what is stored in that variable. Nothing else. Now in my guard, I will call that method. If this method is returning me true, it is understood that I have logged in. If this method is going to return me true, it is understood that I have logged in. So let me return true from here. If not, it is understood that I have not logged in. So let me just return false. I'm just returning false. Home page. Now when I click on complaints, see it is not navigating me to complaints page because I have not logged in. When I click on sign in, signed in successfully. Then when I click on complaints page, can you see it is taking me to the complaints page?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And now when I click on home page back and click on complaints, still it is true. Still it is true. When I click on about us, when I click on contact us, when I click on complaints, still it is true. Let me sign out. Okay. So what should I do? When I sign out, I have to navigate it to home page. Because when I sign out also, still it is here. When I sign out, it becomes false. So this complaint page is not working. So what should I do? Two work I have to do now. When I sign out, let me navigate to another page, home page. So if I want to navigate to home page, I need a
Root.
private root router interface. After this alert, logged out, and I have to navigate to this dot root dot navigate one, right? URL should be in square brackets. Signed in, it is going to compliance page. Now when I sign out, okay, it is navigating me to the home page. Can you see it is navigating me? I'm in this page. When I click on sign out, it is navigating me to the home page. Same way, when I click on complaints, it should not stay like this. It should tell me some information. It should tell me some information. So what I'll do in my guard itself, I will redirect. I will generate one more component, ng generate component, sorry component, a component for just naming it as sorry. If it is a sorry component is generated here. I'll say sorry, you have not logged in. Okay, so a sorry component is being generated. Now where I will configure it. So when I click on complaints, my guard has to check whether it is returning true or false. If it is returning true, it will also return true. If it is returning false, I will return false before returning. Let me here also include router variable r colon router property r dot this dot r dot navigate to same home page one. No, sorry page, right? I have created sorry page for that. So sorry. If sorry comes, where should I go? I have to map it in my route.
Sorry should be inside square brackets.
Yes. In app routing, if the path is sorry, then the component should be, component. So now home is working, about us working, contact, news is working, courses is working. When I click on compliance, okay, it is taking. Okay, so I have made it inside child. Where did I give this? It should be outside child because sign in and sign out button is outside. Sign in and sign out button are inside app component. It is not inside home page. Sorry, you have not logged in. Now, when I click on sign in, signed in successfully. After sign in, when I go to complaints, it is printing. When I click on sign out, could you able to grasp the flow? I'm repeating the flow of this once again. If you can understand this, then it is very easy for you to understand other things. 1 minute, please. Yes, guys. So I'm starting from app component.html. In app component.html, I have just made a link for my home page and 2 buttons for sign in and sign out, a router outlet. And from here, when I click on home, it will go to home page. In home page, I have about us, contact us, and 3 more links in left side, that is news, achievements, compliance, and courses. So when you click on about us, I don't have any issue. It will take you to about us page. When you click on contact us, it will take you to contact us page. News page also it is taking, courses page also it will take. I have not done anything on these things. Before taking to complaints page, when I click on complaints page, the URL is 5. So what is 5 doing? 5 is taking me to complaints page. Before taking it, I'm having a check called can activate. Can activate is checking the conditions on this guard. Where is this guard? Complaint guard is from .guards folder and complaint guard .guard. So from guards folder, TS file is called. What it is doing? It is making an if-else condition. What if-else condition? If this .p .get is logged in. What is that p I'm using here? This is an object or a property of login service. What that login service is going to do? It's going to keep track of my status, whether I have logged in or logged out. That status is tracked inside this service. So where is that service? Yes?
Ma'am, can you explain line 11 and 13?
11 and
13, ma'am.
11 is constructor. You're using your constructor to inject your service. Constructor injection.
Service and router, ma'am.
Router is also an service, right? Predefined service.
Okay, ma'am.
Yesterday I showed you when we click on a button I want to navigate, then I need this router in TS file to navigate. We are using it here. Can activate is a inbuilt method which you are overriding. When you implement this interface, you will generate a guard. Ng generate guard name. When you generate a card, obviously it will override one inbuilt method. That method is overridden, and this method will have these arguments. Activated router snapshot is to check which destination you want to travel. That information is stored here. And what is the status of your state? State of your means whether it is activated or not activated. State of your destination component is stored in this. It is going to return you. If it is synchronized, it will just return you Boolean or URL tree. If it is true or false Boolean, if it is telling you go to some other component differently, URL tree will be returned. So I can say that here it is returning me a different URL tree, or it is navigating me to a different place. If it is returning you observable, that is, if it is asynchronized, your return type will be this. Anything out of this 4. Till here it is 1, or it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4. Anything. It can be anything of this 4. What this guard is doing?
Where we are calling this function, ma'am? Can active.
Can activate will be called automatically when your routing is done. When your URL is matching, when you click on the complaint link, URL is matching, right? When you click on this link, complaints link, 5 URL is coming. URL 5 is coming here and it is matching with this path. Before navigating to this component, this can activate will be called. Can activate is implemented in this class. This class is available in this package. This package is available here. So here where can activate is implemented? Here. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So from here, this .p.get is logged in. Get is logged in is a method in your service. Let's see the service quickly. See, this service is not having much. It is having one variable, Boolean, initially false. If you call this method, it will become true. It will call logout method, it will become false. If you call this method, it will tell you the status. True or false status is returned to you. So from your guard, you are calling that method which is going to return the status. If this is true, then you are also simply returning true. Else, it is going to be false. If it is false, you are navigating it to a different component and returning false. You are navigating it to a different component and returning false. So based on whatever login status, when the login status will change? When you click on sign in button or sign out button, login status will change. When you click on sign in, method 1 is called. When you click on sign out, method 2 is called. What method 1 and method 2 is doing? Internally, they are calling your service. Log serve. Log serve is an object of my login service. Again, login service come to picture. This is caught and this is caught. So what you will understand? This is my web page. This is my service. This is my service. And this is my guard. This is my guard. From my page, I'm clicking on a link and I'm saying get a new page. Get a new page here, I'm saying. Before reaching this page, it is going to guard for checking. If guard says false, it will not display you this page. When you click on sign in button, service is updated with value true. Now, when you try to transform to the new page, guard will check from the service. Guard will check the data from the service. If it is true, it is rendering you the new page. So service is used by guard also, your component also. Component is changing the status, login status. Guard is checking the status in the service, and based on the status, it is rendering you the page. So now guard is going to render you the page based on logged in status. Logged in status can be true or false based on the sign in or sign out button you are clicking in the web page. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Try this once. Then quickly try this. Quickly. I'll give you time till 4 o'clock. Quickly try this. Then if you can understand this, it is very easy to understand can activate child. It's very easy to understand can deactivate. Load may take time.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you show the browser to see the component?
Should I give this code to you guys? Or you can practice. If needed, you can take a screenshot of service. Take a screenshot of this service. Taken?
Yes, ma'am.
Take a screenshot of this guard. Can take a screenshot of this routing. This line
Ma'am,
32.
can you go to the services once?
Service.
Ma'am, can you send this file?
Sorry?
Send it as a file, ma'am. Because next one also we use this file.
I'm not getting you clearly. Your voice is very disturbed.
Ma'am, can you show
Hmm.
the browser, ma'am? To I see the component into the browser. Home.
When I go to home,
Yes.
click on complaints, it is going like this. When I sign in and in home, if I go to complaints, it's working. Very simple. Between you will update your status, logged in, logout status in your service, and guard will check the status from the service. If you can understand that, it is very easy. And if needed, you can note down this also. When you click on sign in and sign out, you have to write methods. Done, Swapnil. I have shared the SRC also.
Thank you.